Good afternoon, everyone. It's Archivist David Thomas at Kresen, Kernow for this Christmas presentation of David's Dazzling documents in December 2023. Only 3 more to go after this till I retire. Last month I showed you some of the wonderful collection of the late Janette Rosing of London, who died in 2021. And I thought today I'd focus a little more on it and a particular aspect of it. Janette was an assiduous collector of the images of the dynasty of Gibson family photographers who resided at the Isles of Scilly and also had a branch at Penzance. And she had a particular fascination for their shipwreck images. Now, the Gibsons started to take shipwreck images in the late 1860s. And this was a tradition that 5 generations of the family carried on right into the later 20th century. On the table today is one of the albums that came in with Janette's collection of some of the remarkable collection of images that the Gibsons took throughout Cornwall, in fact, and indeed sometimes in North Devon, 19th century into the 20th. So let's have a closer look. When the Gibsons began their work in 1869, this is in fact the first known photograph of a shipwreck image that they ever took, taken in 1869, and it's a ship on the Isles of Scilly called the ERI. And you can see there's some men at the very top of one of the masts here posing deliberately for the camera. It's a remarkable photograph considering its age, and it's been preserved very well. And this album of 50 odd images, and there are 2 like this, shows some remarkable pictures. Here's the Earl of Arran steamship wrecked in 1872, and another ship here also with the name of an earl, this time the Earl of Lonsdale in 1885. It's a remarkable record of what was going on around the treacherous Cornish and Isles of Scilly coast in the 19th and early 20th century. I love the shot of the Reginald in 1902. The ship has been beached, and here's the crew calmly having their lunch while they wait for high tide to arrive and to refloat the ship, which I gather it successfully was. They're having their crouse time sat round here on the rocks, just patiently waiting for the tide to come to their assistance. Here's a picture of the Khyber in 1905. What a wonderful study. I think this actually one isn't a photograph. It's a photograph of an artist's painting. It's a very evocative shipwreck image from the Edwardian era. And we turn on, here's the famous ship Shipwrecks, who was wrecked in 1907, subsequently cut up, and only a part of it was salvaged. And this is a truly incredible image from 1914, the wreck of the Trifolium. This chap's been washed ashore and apparently showed signs of life. And here the men are trying to revive him. I don't think in this case they were actually successful, but they're doing their level best to see if they can get him back to life. And here we are, other ships, the Katina in 1913, and here's the Huddersfield, 1908, and here's the Mary Hannah on the beach in Newlyn in 1899. And then, of course, one of Gibson's most famous images, the ship called the Granite Slate, wrecked near Porth Kernow. And this is a very evocative picture with the ship aground and a crowd of Cornish people just having a look out to sea. I do wonder whether he's positioned them deliberately to get the best photographic effect, but he certainly achieved his aim at that time. Here's the Mildred in 1912, and then this last picture in the book is the Bay of Panama, wrecked in 1891. This was a terrible shipwreck which took place during the Great Blizzard of March 1891, and some of the men climbed up into the rigging escape the sea, and in fact they froze to death. 5 or 6 of them were frozen to death on the ship. A remarkable collection of images, another part of this remarkable Rosing archive that we've been bequeathed at Kresen, Kernow, and which is in the process of being catalogued at the moment.